Welcome everybody back to Forza Motorsport, and today we're taking a look at the 2016 Pagani Huayra BC. So this is basically a track focused version of the standard Huayra, and it's named after a friend of the founder of Pagani called Pagani Huayra, and after he died, Pagani basically wanted to pay tribute to the guy because he was, I think, the first guy to buy a Zonda, and he was obviously a friend as well. So yeah, he wanted to pay tribute to his friend by making this car. So yeah, it weighs around 291 pounds less than a standard Huayra, due to it using a material called carbon triax, which is apparently 50% lighter and 20% stronger than standard carbon fibre. To also help with that weight saving aspect, it's also got a lighter titanium exhaust, aluminium alloy wheels, and a stripped out interior. And yeah, it's also got a little bit of extra horsepower, about 10 extra horsepower, while it has a new front splitter, deeper side skirts, a full width rear air diffuser, and a new gigantic rear wing, all to help improve the downforce and the handling of the car as well. And yeah, the interior, like I said, is stripped out, so as you can see there's very little in the way of creature comforts there. Certainly not quite as mad to look at as some of the interiors that we've seen from Pagani in the past. Certainly a lot less shiny, but yeah, it still has the mad gull wing doors. And yeah, when you ultimately strip the car back in terms of its body panels, as we can here, you'll see that there's very little outside of the bodywork to this car, which yeah, just shows how light it is. And that's proven by the number that we have in terms of how much it weighs, at 2,685 pounds, which is absolutely nothing when you think about it, especially when you've got the kind of power that we have going on here. So yeah, we have a 6-litre twin turbocharged V12 engine producing a massive 740 horsepower and 737 pounds-feet of torque, which is huge numbers for a car, like I said, weighs less than most hot hatchbacks. So yeah, that is a ridiculous amount of power. You do have to put the doors up to get the rear open though. Maybe that's a safety feature, I don't know. But yeah, we do also still have the rear and front winglets on the car as well, which alternate depending on, you know, the steering lock and the kind of downforce that you need. They are very much a active aero. They're also up at the front as well. I'm not sure if it'll let us show us. No, it won't, but we'll see them when we get driving around the track. So yeah, the only thing I don't like about this car styling wise is the alloy wheels. They do look a bit chromey. Certainly look more like they should be on the side of a 90s Dodge Viper rather than a incredibly expensive hypercar from the 2010s. But outside of that, yeah, it still looks really rather good, just like the standard Huayra does, but even better with that really rather cool blue stripe and all of the aerodynamic additions that it's had on top of that as well. So yeah, but nonetheless, let's get out onto a track and see what this car can do. So we are at the modern version of Le Mans, so just basically see what this car can do in terms of its top speed, because it is quite immense. But regardless, we're going to hear what this car sounds like, and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, sounds incredible, and yeah, goes like absolutely stink in terms of acceleration and top speed, and when that is despite all of the downforce that is clearly acting on this car. And yeah, so it can do 0 to 60 in 3.27 seconds, 0 to 105.74 seconds, and going to a top speed of 230 miles an hour, which we have come quite close to despite not being on the full length Old Mulsanne circuit. Yeah, that means that this is easily able to compete with many other cars that are also quick at the top end, but require a hell of a lot more in the way of power to get there, and that's purely just because of how little this actually weighs, and that's why it's so quick at the top end, even with all of that downforce working against it. So yeah, these are the, I'm not sure I can show you the front winglets off yet, we'll have to wait for the corner I believe, but still, you can see the rear one's working well, helping to, you know, slow the car down by acting as a brake. There's one of the winglets working there at the front, you can see that they're moving around as well, so yeah, this is easily one of the more active aero vehicles that we've ever had on a Forza game. The only one that's probably even more impressive is the Zenvo TSRS, which obviously has that tilting rear wing. But I like the winglets on this as well because, you know, they can split the aero between different sides of the vehicle. They're not just dependent on one long wing. They are 4 separate little ones, and yeah, that offers up a little bit more precision, I imagine, in terms of where the downforce can be and where it doesn't need to be. Then you've got the really rather good brakes, which, you know, they don't have to be amazing given how little this actually weighs, but obviously when you're doing 230 miles an hour, you want the brakes to be able to slow you down in a reasonable distance, and they certainly will do that. And then obviously because of all the downforce, it's got really good handling as well. Although I don't think a car that really relies on it all that much. Although as soon as I say that, I end up going wide on the track. But yeah, I don't think it overly relies on the downforce of the car. It helps that it's got new track-focused tyres to help provide a lot of grip as well. But yeah, I don't think it overly relies on that downforce, which means that even at slower corners and going into slower corners, you do still have a reasonable amount of handling to enjoy and rely on. So yeah, it's a fantastic car. It's an improvement over the standard Huayra in a lot of ways, but it doesn't lose the madness of that car, even if the interior is a little bit more bland than normal, just because it's been stripped out so much. But still, that's more than worth the price worth paying, considering how much extra performance, handling, better looks, and yeah, just sheer speed you get out of this car. So yeah, fantastic vehicle overall. So yeah, nonetheless though, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.